Have you ever felt like a place was watching you? I have. And it wasn't just any place. It was a forest that moves. This happened a few years ago. During a weekend trip with some friends, we used to go hiking to get away from the city, breathe cleaner air, tell scary stories by the fire. Nothing extreme. But this time, we picked a place hardly anyone talks about. Montequieto, a forgotten little town with a dozen houses, sitting at the foot of a hill. And behind that hill, the forest. No one in town gave us clear directions. They just said, if the forest wants you in, it'll let you in. We laughed. Old superstitions, we thought. But looking back now, none of them were laughing when they said it. We started hiking at dawn. The sun barely touched the hilltop, and already the air felt strange. Heavy, like someone was holding their breath. Then we saw it. The forest. Out of nowhere. Huge. Dark. Silent. We went in. No fear. Just excitement. Like fools. At first, everything seemed normal. Dirt paths, dry leaves, birds chirping. But the trees, something was off. Too symmetrical. Like someone had arranged them. And then the sound began. A crack here. A whisper there. Footsteps. But when we turned around, nothing. Just the forest. Still, watching. We walked for hours, but never got anywhere. No clearing. No end. Even turning back didn't work. The path we'd come from, gone. We started arguing. One of us said we should follow the moss. Another tried using his phone's compass. I didn't say anything, because I noticed something none of them had. The trees were moving when we weren't looking. I swear a crooked branch we passed earlier now stood in front of us again. A tree with knife marks kept reappearing, like we were walking in circles, but the forest was creating the circle. Then night fell. Suddenly, no sunset, just darkness. And with the dark came the whispers. Not wind, words, low, in a language we didn't understand. But close, too close. One of my friends, Nico, started shouting. He saw lights between the trees, said something was calling him. He ran off, and we never saw him again. We tried to chase him, but the more we moved, the tighter the forest closed in around us. That's when I understood this forest wasn't a place. It chose where to be and who to let go. That night, we didn't sleep. We just lay there, eyes wide open. Every shadow moved. Every falling leaf made our hearts stop. At dawn, the forest changed. Lighter, less dense, like its mood had shifted. Then, without warning, we found the exit. But here's the worst part. When we got back to town, dirty, exhausted, shaking, the locals stared at us. A woman stepped forward and asked, "Where did you come from?" We said, "From the forest." Her face turned white. She said the forest had moved. 2 days ago, it was no longer behind the hill. It was now on the far side of the valley. There was no way we could have come from where we did. We had only spent one night inside. But for them, 3 days had passed. Ever since then, I dream of trees that lean toward me, whispering for me to come back. They say once you enter, a piece of the forest stays with you. And if you listen closely, the forest is listening too.